Good afternoon. It's Monday, October 1. I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. Approximately 150 workers on two of the major road projects in the corporate area remained off the job this morning. The workers are involved in the construction of the Mandela Highway as well as the overpass at the Portia Simpson Miller Square. They have been complaining about poor working conditions and low wages. They are upset about the failure of China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC, to respond to their concerns. Businessman Barrington White, who was listed as a person of interest in the murder of his wife, District Constable Melissa Edwards White, remains at large. Up to news time, Mr. White still had not reported to the police. The St. Andrews South Police, that is, are renewing their call for Mr. White, otherwise called Barry or Drops, to turn himself in immediately. Head of the St. Andrews South Police, Superintendent Gary Francis, gave TVJ News an update.
We are still doing our searches relentlessly, but we have not managed to locate him yet. We ask anybody who knows we are about to encourage him to turn himself in because we want to question him in relation to the discovery of his wife's death. We just want him to come in. I'm just re-emphasizing to secret because we have not seen him since, and we believe he may be able to assist us in the investigation.
It's reported that sometime after 7 Saturday evening, the couple had a dispute at their Duhaney Park home. Mr. White reportedly used a machete to inflict wounds to his wife. He then fled the scene. The Jamaica Association of Transport Owners and Operators, JATU, has expressed frustration with the increase in fees for hackney carriage and route taxi licenses. The increase takes effect today, following an announcement last Friday. TVJ's Anthony Lugg reports.
The relationship between taxi operators and the Transport Authority has soured considerably since the announcement of an increase in license fees. The Transport Authority says the increase will take effect today as was previously announced. Fees for a new license as well as renewal for hackney carriage operators will move to $25,000. The previous cost was $15,000 for a hackney carriage license and $13,500 for renewal. For new and renewal of route taxis license, it will cost $15,000 up from $12,500. However, JATU says the increase is not justified.
We are totally opposed to that, especially in light of the of not getting a fare increase for the past 5 years. We would like to say that if it will increase because the gas price increase or because the exchange rate increase or the inflation rate increase, something have to trigger it and we move forward with that. Because we can't just depend on the whims and fancy of a minister or a managing director or a chairman to increase it whenever they feel like.
The Transport Authority says the fee adjustment became necessary to offset administrative costs.
A lot of overhead there that doesn't make sense. They have a derelict building at Duke Street and North Street in Kingston that they are paying close to $1 million a month for, and it's not being used, it's not doing anything. Why don't they get rid of that? Cut that cost. They have a lot of inspectors and supervisors and office personnel that is duplicating some of the work that the JCF is doing. Most of the inspectors are doing policing work on the road. Cut that or put them in the JCF.
The JATU president says what the authority needs to do is restructure their operations to offset those costs. Anthony Lugg, TVJ News.
The opposition People's National Party, PNP, is taking issue with the government and its handling of coffee farmers' complaints about markets for their produce. At a media briefing which ended a short while ago, opposition spokesman on agriculture, Dr. Fenton Ferguson, called on the government to intervene and address issues affecting these farmers.
We are talking about, and I have made several attempts to meet with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries without success. But I want to put on the table that while, in fact, in one of our casual encounter, what he said to me is that it's a private sector thing. But I know that coffee has always been bigger than just a private sector. So if the strategy would have been to divest the coffee in order for government, present or future, to appear not to have a vested interest in it, how could it be?
The Office of the Children's Advocate, OCA, has revealed that it has had to intervene in several squabbles between hospitals and parents over the medical treatment of children. The OCA recently stepped in to act on behalf of a critically ill 14-month-old infant in the middle of a legal battle between the University Hospital of the West Indies and her parents. The Supreme Court last week gave the hospital permission to treat the infant and conduct all necessary tests as it sees fit. Children's Advocate Diane Gordon Harrison says such cases are not unusual.
We have had a number of them, really, that emanate out of the typical hospital scenario, wherein there is an issue for one reason or another, and the best interests seem to be in line with the medical opinion, but for whatever reason there is the hesitation of the parents to consent to medical treatment.
In the meantime, local pediatric surgeons are extremely optimistic following 2 successful liver transplants at the Bustamante Children's Hospital last week. They are the first such surgeries done in Jamaica. The transplants are the end result of a collaboration between surgeons from Philadelphia in the United States and local doctors.
So this is really the start of the program here. The idea is to do a number of pediatric transplants here together as a team to help build the capacity to allow the Jamaican team to do them on their own. And that will be very important, not only to the care of these transplant patients, but also to the care of any Jamaican patients who require such high-end surgical procedures.
Both children received organs from living donors in last week's procedures. The first was for 13-month-old Zaydan, where his father was the donor. The second transplant involved a 16-month-old girl.
We are very grateful for the collaboration, and we're looking forward for further collaboration and having private partnership coming from our private sector that will help us to mushroom this and explode this program so that not many more children can benefit as well as their families.
As plans are being made for more transplants, relatives are told that they can donate part of a liver for the operation. We're told that both transplant recipients are doing well. Chief Executive Officer of Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Susan Stanley, is calling for a comprehensive health impact study to be done in relation to the fires at the Riverton City disposal site. Ms. Stanley says without such a study, it will be difficult for affected persons to seek compensation through the courts.
You would need to be able to prove that this is actually the cause of the health issues that you have. So you would need to have records of all of those types of things. They are matters that can be taken up in the courts, but without some kind of health impact study, assessment of what the long-term impacts have been of this air quality issue in the area, you would need something like that. You would need more information, more data, more evidence, more records of the issues if we were to pursue or you were to go down that road.
Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry has been urging persons who wish to seek compensation for the ill effects of the fire to ensure they go to their doctors and have their ailments documented. Ms. Harrison Henry disclosed that her office is already pursuing some of these complaints to seek redress for those affected. Taxi operators who ply the Linstead to Treadway's route in St. Catherine withdrew their service this morning to protest against the state of the roads. The operators parked their vehicles along the Treadway's main road, which resulted in commuters having to walk to their destinations. They're calling on the authorities to fix the problem as their livelihood is at stake. One taxi operator explained how frustrating it is to operate under these conditions.
Treadway's now on the road, York Street, Cheesefield, them places now on the road, and that's where they demonstrate about. They water pipe them they bust up everywhere you go. A pier, bust a pipe up on the road. You see, and every day this we are go through. Examiner come out up on the road at daytime, 2 times for the week. When they come here, dig off most of we plate. Who then can catch car, pay a cat and most thing we have to go on with them. See? So, and at the end of the day, we're not on the road for drive, man. If we fix the front end now, tomorrow are the same thing. It leak out, and when them come, them business, you know, all them are do a dig off with plate and like that.
Always check your tires. A warning from the Road Safety Unit to motorists as the rainy season approaches. In an interview with TVJ News, Unit Director Kenut here outlined several precautions he believes motorists should not ignore.
We should ensure that we have proper tread depth on our tires. We should also ensure that we have proper air pressure within our tires. For persons who don't know, you can look at your driver panel side and you will see the amount of air pressure that you should keep in your tire. You should also ensure that the groove in your tires are above 1.66 millimeters, right? Most tires now have that 1.66 millimeter inside of them.
Mr. Hare added that the set speed limit are for dry roads. Therefore, during the rainy season, motorists must adjust their speeds to 50% of the various speed limits.
If there are water on the road and we are speeding, our vehicles can hydroplane. Hydroplane occurs when the tire of your motor vehicle is no longer on the road surface but is on that film of water. And therefore, the only corrective measure that one can deploy here is to remove the foot from off the gas pedal or the brake pedal and thus allow the vehicle to descend back onto the road surface.
And we go down to sports. Emil Santos and Yaciris Ortiz, both of the Dominican Republic, captured the prestigious men and women's singles titles as the curtains came down on the Caribbean Region Table Tennis Championship inside the National Arena over the weekend.
Emil Santos of the Dominican Republic retained the men's title after first defeating fellow countryman Isaac Villa 11-9, 4-11, 14-12, 7-11, 7-11, 11-6, 11-6 in their semi-final. And then getting past defending champion Samuel Galvez, also of the Dominican Republic, in a thrilling finale 11-9, 11-9, 12-10, 11-7 in a match that lasted 35 minutes. Santos revealed that the experience gained on the European circuit contributed to his success. He won a total of 3 gold medals and a bronze medal in the mixed doubles.
That was my goal, to win. I'm very happy for it, although I'm not showing so much expression, but at the same time, it's a little bit sad that I had to beat my teammates.
Meanwhile, Yaciris Ortiz, who is also from the Dominican Republic, won 3 gold and 2 bronze. This included defeating teammate Eva Brito in the women's singles final 11-8, 5-11, 13-11, 9-11, 11-6 to capture her first singles crown. In addition to helping the Dominican Republic to top honors in the women's team competition, 20-year-old Ortiz also won gold in the women's doubles. She also picked up bronze medals in the girls under-20 singles and mixed doubles competition.
I'm very happy because my friend, which is from my country too, she was the favorite one. So I thought that she was gonna beat me, but I keep fighting, like in my mind, saying you can beat her, and I did it, thank God.
The Dominican Republic dominated the week-long championship, winning 8 of the 12 titles at stake, only losing the boys and girls under 21 singles and the men's and women's 45 and over singles. Jamaica gained 1 silver in the men's doubles and 2 bronze in the women's 45 and over singles. International Table Tennis Federation have given high praise to Jamaica for hosting a successful championship.
I am really overjoyed, I'm elated, to see such a wonderful tournament, and we have been given high marks by the ITTF, the Caribbean Regional Table Tennis Federation, and LATU for such a well-run, well-organized competition.
The next championship will be hosted by Guyana next year. Trishana McGowan, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.